Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son as well. And he split the wood for the burnt offering and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place afar off, and Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went together. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Then he said, Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the 2 of them went together. When they came to the place of which God had told him, and Abraham built an altar right there and placed the wood in order, and he bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Genesis 22, verses 1 through 12. The story of Abraham always leads us to think about the faith of this man that left his land without a map to a promised land. At an old age, this man and his wife did not have any children. His wife even laughed when she heard the news that she will have a baby boy. But after time passed, they finally had the boy, and the boy was still a lad, says the Bible, when God calls Abraham to ask him for a sacrifice. Abraham took his only child, whom he loved dearly. He takes all he needs to make the sacrifice, but also he takes 2 young men with him. Abraham acted obedient to what God has asked for him to do. But when he saw from far the place where he was going to sacrifice his son, he asked the 2 young men to wait for him there with the donkey. And he also told them that he and his son will go further down to worship, and we will return back to you. We will return back to you. His reaction in the middle of all he was going through at this moment was first of obedience, then worship, and faith. He just said he was going to worship and that the 2 of them will be back. But the son asked his father, Where is the offering? And Abraham replied, God will provide. So no matter what we are seeing, no matter what the sacrifice is, we need to act with obedience first. We need to worship our Father, even if we do not see the light. Have the faith that God will provide it. Believe this and confess it. but most of all, praise and worship. After Abraham's obedience, even of the death of his only son, God gave him a promise. I will bless you and multiply, and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore. Genesis 22:16 through 17a. Abraham was willing to give to the Lord his only son, and by his love, faith, and obedience, God blessed him as the father of the nations. I am Vivian Cristina Paulino Balards, a child of God. Be obedient. Trust that our Father in heaven will provide. Worship him. Until next time, God bless you.